Hello there folks, my name is Spoonks and I saw Anora and I loved it. I heard a lot of things about this movie going into it, about how stellar the film was, how it won, the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival and so on and so forth, and just how amazing and spectacular it was. So all of the positive word of mouth really piqued my interest. The trailers looked pretty interesting, and I've been a Mikey Madison fan since Better Things, and this looked like it was going to be a breakout performance from her, and I was really interested in seeing what this movie had to offer, and I'm happy to report that this movie did not disappoint. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie a lot. What really surprised me the most about this movie was just how funny it was. The trailers definitely present this movie much more differently than what the movie actually is. This is definitely more of a screwball comedy, if you will, and I wasn't really expecting that with this movie, given how it was described to me from reviews and what other people said it was. And it was definitely a welcome surprise, because this is one of the funniest movies of the year. I was laughing a lot and throughout the movie, just from a character perspective, just the way how every character in this movie interacts with one another, how they respond to certain situations, and how they try to get themselves out of this rut was just so funny. Just the timing was perfect, their dynamics and how they played off of each other was very well done, and it led to a lot of very humorous moments throughout the movie. I was laughing out loud a lot. I was laughing consistently. I just thought this movie was really, really funny, but there is an underlying sense of dread and, dare I say, despair in this movie, that when that hidden layer of the movie comes out to shine, it really hits home, and you do feel the sense of dread and depression that the movie wants you to feel. This movie can be pretty emotional, pretty heartbreaking at times, especially with the ending of the film. I won't give away what it is, of course, but let me just say it did leave me speechless, and I was thinking about it in the car for a while. It's one of those endings for sure, and I'm not sure how much people are going to respond to it. Some people in my theater, they were speechless like I was, but some other people were a bit disappointed, if you can imagine. Some people scoffed at it, but it's definitely a very interesting ending, and I'm definitely curious to see what other people think of it. But yeah, the ending, I think, for me at least, really hit home, as well as the characters in this movie. I thought they were all really likable and charming. I loved the gang of goons that work for the family of the love interest in this movie. They were easily the funniest characters in the movie. Just bumbling goons trying to right the wrongs of what this kid did. It was just they were just the highlights of the movie. Every time they just said anything, did anything, or interacted with anyone, it was just so funny, and I couldn't stop laughing every time they were on screen. I also loved Mikey Madison in this movie. Again, I've been a fan of her since Better Things, and this was truly her moment to shine. She brings a lot to this character, and I honestly couldn't see anyone else portraying this character better than her. She brings, the warmth, the sadness, the humor, and the despair of it all into this performance, and she does an excellent job with it. She really made the character shine and stand out for sure, as you go along with this journey with her, and her realizing what really lies ahead of her after she got into this mess involving young rich Russian man who also was very entertaining to watch. He's not in it a lot throughout the middle, and you definitely do feel that when he's gone, but I thought he was also very charming and very funny in this movie. But again, there's some hidden motives behind him, and when the movie truly shows what type of person he truly is, then you start to feel other things about this character, and I think the movie portrayed that super well. I honestly felt a sense of, douchiness to the character, and I think that's what the filmmakers were trying to do, but it was hidden under the guise of just this innocent, naive little twerp, and I thought the movie handled that very well as well. And just the way the story is told, despite it being mostly a screwball comedy, there's definitely a dropping point from the film. The first half is definitely much more different than the second half of the movie. The first half plays more like a very R-rated, sex-positive, raunchy version of a Cinderella story. These two people falling in love and just doing everything they can to be with each other. Well, the second half, to go without saying a lot, is a manhunt. That's pretty much it. Without saying too much, it's a manhunt, and what happens during it. That's all I'll say about the second half. But it never felt like they were balancing two different movies and stitching them together. It felt like a very strong narrative, and the execution and themes and ideologies of sex, capitalism, and just falling in love and holding on to that until you realize that it's not what it was meant to be. I thought those themes and ideas and messages were very well portrayed here, and the very strong emotional heartbreak, if you will. Again, the ending really did a number on me. I didn't cry. I wasn't, in a state of depression after watching the ending, but it did hit home for me. If there's one negative I have with the film, it is the length of it. I do feel this movie is a bit too long. You do definitely start to feel the movie drag and slow down during the middle, and like I said, you do feel the Russian boy's absence in the film for sure. During this chunk of the movie, he does go away for a while, so I feel like they could have done a bit better job with the pacing, maybe make the film move a bit quicker, bit faster. I did start to feel the length at a certain point, and there was a point near the conclusion I was like, okay, is the movie, we're still going? I thought we were wrapping up right now. We still got a couple more minutes. All right, so yeah, definitely I feel like the length could have been shortened a bit. Definitely felt like they could have fixed up the pacing just to make the movie feel a bit faster. But otherwise, Anora is a phenomenal movie. Definitely not what I was expecting. Certainly a big surprise for me, but I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was absolutely hilarious and also absolutely heartbreaking. I loved the story, I loved the characters, I loved the themes, and Mikey Madison did a standout job. This is easily her big breakout performance. If this movie is playing near you, go check it out. I highly recommend it. This was a fantastic, wonderful, depressing, heartbreaking, but also hilarious and joyful movie. I cannot recommend it enough. I think this movie is going to stick with me for at least the next week or so. It definitely still resonates with me, but I cannot recommend it enough. I loved this movie.
Today this could be the greatest day of our lives. Before it all ends, before we run out of time, stay close to me, stay close to me, watch the